Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Shut Up and Read. Today I'll be doing my May TBR. So to celebrate Asian month, I do want to have one kind of like criteria for the month of May. I'm pretty sure there will be an Asian readathon going on, but because I'm pre-filming this like way in advance, I don't know what the prompts are for it. But because I'm doing my own TBR right now and I want to get this filmed and kind of like get this edited so I can have it pre-planned and pre-uploaded onto YouTube, the only criteria that I want to have this time around, in addition to all the prompts, is that the books that I choose, I want it to have something to do with Asians. So either it is by an Asian author, have an Asian character, it's in Asia, something like that. I would like to have something to do with Asia, Asian culture, Asian people, etc. So that's kind of my plan here for the books that I am picking this time around, and yeah, we'll just start from there. So first prompt is going to be foiled cover. Okay, I have to think of something. I'll be right back. Okay, this is actually a little bit harder than I expected. I had to look for quite some time, but I did come up with two books that have some foiling on there. And the first one over here is Star Daughter by Shevta Thakar, and this is obviously own voices for Indian culture, as well as the fact that it is inspired by Hindu mythology. So I am super intrigued with this book. I've heard some like mixed reviews, but either way though, this cover is stunning. The story sounds really promising. It's about this girl who is half star, and something happens with her father, some sort of like tragic accident, and the only way to save her father now is actually go up into the constellation, talk to her mother's side of the family, which are all stars, and somehow get them to help her and save her father, something along those lines. Like I said, I've heard some mixed reviews, but either way though, I'm super intrigued with this book. Then the other option that I have over here is The Reader by Tracy Chi. As you can tell, there's definitely some foiling in the lettering over here. I'm not entirely sure if this book is own voices, but I do know that the author is Asian, so this will obviously fit my whole criteria for myself for Asian month. But all I know is that this book is about the fact that a reading is something that has never been heard of before, and one day the main character finds a mysterious object that turns out to be a book, and kind of things just go from there. I'm super intrigued. I haven't heard about this book for quite some time now. It's been out for some years, but ever since I've heard about this book, because I was like, I love reading, this book is about reading, this seems perfect, so I have been trying to pick this up for a while now. All right, so moving on to my next prompt over here, and let's see what I pick. 5-star prediction. Okay, this is significantly easier compared to my first prompt, but anyways, I will be back once I think of something. All right, so I have the perfect book for this, and that is actually These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I've heard so many freaking good things about this book. Plus I have the Fairloo edition, and it's so pretty with its pink sprayed edges, but I am super excited for this book. This is obviously own voices for Chinese representation. It's basically inspired by like Romeo and Juliet, set in Shanghai in the 1920s, and kind of like the whole blood feud, family feuds, etc. And I've heard so many good things. I'm super excited for this book, and I'm definitely late on the train for this one because so many people have read it already, but I definitely want to pick it up for myself and just kind of love the story as well. Plus also, because I have the Fairloo edition, I have this gorgeous print over here, and it's so stunning. Just look at this. So anyways, I'm very excited for this book. Okay, moving on to my next prompt over here, and this is going to be books set at the sea. Okay, let me think of something. Okay, this one was such a funny coincidence because I was struggling with this one. I feel like set at sea was kind of specific, but I did manage to find two books. Okay, so the first one was a stretch, and then I realized, I was like, wait, let me just like Google it and see if there were any other books, and this one popped up, and I was like, is this even like related to the sea? And apparently it's set on an island, a Capri island, and it's like a romance about these two people who meet, and I guess like they trade rooms or something, so she has a better view of the sea. And I was like, well, if they're on an island, she has a view of the sea, I'm sure they'll be doing like beachy sea things. So obviously I was like, let me just go with this book instead. And the most ironic thing is by the same freaking author. and that is Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan. So I'm kind of leaning towards this one because I feel like it's set on the island. It's obviously gonna be like sea related activities, so I feel like that definitely covers this particular prompt. But in the meantime though, I was debating between China Rich Girlfriend. So this is book 2 of the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy, and this one, the reason why I'm a little bit hesitant about this one is because I don't know if it's actually set at the sea, but the first book was set in Singapore, and Singapore is technically an island, and they obviously did some like rich people stuff, which includes going on yachts, etc. And I'm like, there's gonna be activities based on the sea, so I feel like based on that assumption, I feel like there'll be scenes here that is set in the sea. So I don't know, I feel like I'm more inclined for this one, mainly because this is part of a series that I already started and I would like to go back into it. On the other hand though, I feel like this is a safer bet for me in terms of this prompt, but I mean, I'm going to just put both of them aside for now and just kind of like see from there. But these are the 2 books that are ironically from the same author that I happen to pick for this prompt. Anyways, moving on to my next prompt over here, and that is going to be fake dating / marriage. This is also probably really hard too already. I feel like the only one I can think of suddenly is the one by Helen Huang, and that I already read, so can't really do that one. But let me do some sleuthing around my bookshelves, see if I can find anything on Google, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm so excited that I managed to find this book because I realized I've had this book for so long. So I literally just Googled and I was like, fake dating tropes, and this book popped up and I was like, how did I not think about this earlier? Because I literally just saw this book when I was looking for a different book for another prompt, and that is Fake It Till You Break It by Jen P. Nguyen. This one is basically about these 2 teenagers who essentially decide to fake date to get their parents off their back to encourage them to date. So like their parents have been trying to get them to date for the longest time, and they're like, you know what, fuck it, let's just date, pretend a date, get them off our backs, and maybe they'll realize that, you know, we shouldn't be together and they can just like leave us alone. And of course they probably fall in love. So I'm excited for this one. This sounds super freaking adorable. So yeah, I'm super excited that I found this book to fulfill this prompt. The reason why I really want to do this, like try to find Asian books to read for this month, is because I have realized I am so bad at reading Asian books. Like I always try to focus and I've never really noticed it, but every single year when I do my Asian book recommendations, I struggle to find 10 books to recommend that are by Asian authors. And the fact that I'm Asian and the fact that I struggle to find 10 Asian books is like just insane to me. And it's also partially on me too, because I just don't read a lot of books by Asian authors. Like I don't really like, I feel like when I look at books, I just pick whatever I, you know, it can satisfy certain like readathons or prompts I have for myself or whatever is going on at a certain time, like secret TBRs, etc. Like I don't really focus too much on like who is writing it. I focus mostly on like the plot itself to have it fulfill certain things. And so because of that, I guess I just haven't been picking up a lot of like Asian books over the years. So like this year, for example, I've picked up 1 book, and thankfully it is a book that will be on my Asian book recommendations. But I managed to only have like 5 books. I'm compiling a list right now, but so far I have only 5 books in the past like year or so that I read that I really want to recommend that are by Asian authors. Like that's just insane for me. So yeah, that's why I'm like trying to read a lot of books this month and just have all focus on Asian authors, Asian characters, and Asia, etc. The whole 9 yards, ideally. But anyways, moving on to my next prompt, which is my last prompt, by the way. So I have over here white cover. Okay, this is significantly easier just because I feel like this is more of a generic prompt. Anyways, I will look through my shelves and be back. Alright, so I am super pleased that I have managed to find not just 5 or 6 books, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books to fulfill all of these prompts. I mean, granted, some of them I picked extra books just because I was like, why not? But the last book that I have picked for this one is We Are Not Free by Tracy Chee. This is actually the same author as The Reader, so that's kind of ironic that I'm picking different books by the same authors. But this is basically about these 14 teenagers who are second generation Japanese American citizens and how their lives have changed during the US mass incarcerations of World War II. And this is definitely an Own Voices novel because it says over here that this is actually pulled from Tracy Chee's own family history. So this is like her own she's definitely getting some like background history from her own family, definitely speaking from her experiences, maybe not her personally but from her family's experience. So I feel like this is a very good book to read at this point in time. So yeah, I'm super excited about this one. So anyways, let's just kind of go through all the books that I want to read for the month of May. I mean, honestly, the fact that I haven't read that many Asian books is just so embarrassing as an Asian person myself. Like, what the fuck. But yeah, I'm gonna try to change it this time around and just definitely focus. Like, I feel like I do focus on it, but I guess like if I'm gonna do a stats end of the year and just kind of see like books by like who wrote what, just because I never really did that stat before. I always count just like, you know, like genres. I count like what year, if they were like new releases or old releases. I do some of the basic stats, but I never really considered doing this stat, and I feel like this would be good for me to do, just to like, you know, read more books by not just Asian authors but like other people of color, you know what I mean? I feel like I do read a lot, but when it comes to like recommending videos for you guys, I feel like I don't. So I don't know, I guess I'll do it. I guess you'll find out at the end of the year, guys, and see like how many books I read by Asian authors, by Black authors, by Indigenous authors, etc, etc. So anyways, just kind of go through all the books that I am planning to read in May. I'm going to go through all the prompts and which books I'll be picking up, and this is not in any particular order. But the first prompt over here is the white cover, which I'll be reading We Are Not Free by Tracy Chee. Then I have over here Fake Dating / Marriage, and I'll be picking up Fake It Till You Break It by Jen P. Nguyen. And then I have a book Set at the Sea, which I have 2 picks over here, so I guess I'll find out which one I want to read, but maybe I'll be ambitious and read both of them. And that is China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan, as well as Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan. Then the next prompt I have over here is 5-star prediction, which I will be picking up These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. And the last one I have over here is Foiled Cover, which I'll be picking up The Reader by Tracy Chee. Or, and I'm hoping to read both, is Star Daughter by Sheta Thakar. Really hoping I pronounced her name correctly. But these are essentially all the books that I hope to pick up in the month of May. I think I'll be able to do it. I feel like I'm doing a pretty decent job recently with actually reading through all my books. It is currently mid-April, and I've managed to read like 60% of the books I picked out for last month, and that's on top of reading all the other books for my secret TBRs and everything. So I think overall it's like not too bad. But yeah, anyways, I will hopefully read through these books, and I'm hoping that some of these books will fulfill the Asian readathon prompts. Anyways, that's what I say for this video. Let me know down below which books are you planning to read for May. Are you going to do Asian readathon, which I'm assuming there's going to be. I talked to Cindy actually, and she said there's going to be, so there's going to be an Asian readathon. But yeah, let me know which books are you planning to read for the month of May. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really does help out my channel, and if you'd like to see more content of me, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!